Hi, this is Professor David Farina. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Jovian moons, rings, and Plutoids, specifically beyond Neptune, Plutoids, and the Kuiper Belt. Let's get started. So, the discovery of Pluto in 1930 by Clyde Tombaugh was a pretty incredible thing. If you look at these two images side by side, you would initially think that they were identical. However, if you look very, very closely, you can see that this dot here and this dot here are the only two things in this image that are different. This is how Clyde Tombaugh was able to discover Pluto. This is an incredible feat of persistence and the real way in which things are oftentimes found in science is through hard work. And Clyde Tombaugh was looking specifically for things like asteroids, things like planets that move across the background stars. And his work paid off. Very, very rewarding, I'm sure, for him to have discovered Pluto. Now, Pluto, from Earth, it's a dot. It's a tiny little dot, and even with our best telescopes, it's extremely hard to resolve an image of the planet itself, or the dwarf planet itself. It's 65% the size of Earth's moon. It's in an extremely highly elliptical orbit, which means that it sometimes comes closer to the sun than the planet Neptune does. Its orbit is at 17 degrees of tilt compared to the rest of the solar system, and its surface is covered in nitrogen ice with frozen methane and carbon dioxide atmosphere, and when it's winter, the atmosphere actually freezes solid onto the surface, and when it's summer, the atmosphere actually expands and becomes a gas again and sublimates into naked atmosphere on Pluto. Now, Pluto's moon Charon, this image through a Hubble Space Telescope was the first really good, reasonably good image of these two objects. And Charon was discovered in 1978. It's about 1/12 the mass of Pluto, which means it's actually pretty big compared to its parent planet, or in this case, dwarf planet. It's tidally locked to Pluto, and they orbit each other. Now, compared to Earth, you can get an understanding of scale here. Pluto and Charon are rather small. And they're separated by a pretty short distance. So this causes a lot of variability in this, what is more like a binary planetoid, two planets, or two dwarf planets in this case, going around each other. But Charon is considered a moon. There's two main theories here on the formation, and this may change as we recently visited Pluto with the New Horizons spacecraft. The main thing here to consider is the distance from the sun, and most of the planets are Jovian planets at this distance, but Pluto and Charon used to be thought of as possibly moons of Neptune that were ejected, but it's unlikely that this actually happened. It's more likely that they are members of something called the Kuiper Belt, which is basically a ring around the sun at a distance beyond Neptune. And these Plutinos are a very common thing that we discussed today, these Kuiper Belt objects, and it's one of the main reasons why Pluto has been demoted as a planet into this new category of dwarf planet, because there are so many of these Plutinos out there, these Neptunian objects, that we needed to reclassify these as something completely new. So rather than adding thousands of objects to what we considered a planet, now we have the new category of dwarf planet. Some other dwarf planets out there, Eris and Ceres. These are, Eris is 70% farther away from the sun than Pluto is, 4% larger than Pluto is, 27% more massive, and this is actually the main reason why Pluto was demoted, because Eris was discovered in 2004, and there was question, is this the 10th planet now? And scientists got together in the International Astronomical Union, the governing body of planetary science, and all astronomy for that matter, and they determined that no, this cannot be a planet, and we need to reclassify them as dwarf planets. We also have Ceres, now Ceres or Ceres. This one is actually found in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, but it's considered a dwarf planet as well after that reclassification scheme occurred. It used to be thought of as the biggest asteroid, and no longer. It's now considered a dwarf planet. So here are the higher resolution images taken by the New Horizons spacecraft, and you can make out this heart-shaped feature right here on the surface. Really kind of cool shape here. This red material on the surface is thought to be high in organic molecules, which is very interesting to scientists in terms of astrobiology. And yeah, this is a great discovery. We have never had a chance to travel to Pluto before now, and in fact this spacecraft New Horizons kept going. It was moving way too fast. It could not drop into orbit around Pluto. So we only have part of the surface mapped. The other side of Pluto was unable to be seen in this high resolution. So Pluto's moon Charon, once again discovered in 1978. Pluto also has 4 smaller moons. They are Nix, Hydra, Styx, and Kerberos, and they are seen here. So notice that Pluto's axial tilt and Charon's orbital plane, they match each other, and then Pluto's orbit around the sun is quite tilted. So it's an interesting relationship, to say the least. So, and then once again, Eris has a moon as well, Dysomnia, and this particular moon is one of the other moons of dwarf planets. And here are a number of the objects that are larger outside of Neptune's orbit. You can see many of them are spherical in shape. Haumea here is not a circular shape. It's much more elongated, indicating that it does not have enough gravity to compact it down. So thanks for watching today's video on Jovian moons, rings, and Plutoids beyond Neptune, Plutoids, and the Kuiper Belt. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you'd like to learn more, please subscribe. And if you'd like to get a notification each time I make a video, please click the bell at the bottom. Thanks again, and have a great rest of your day.